Hi, everybody. This is Mrs. Alonso, and I'm going to be reading aloud your 6.4 end of unit assessment. So before we begin, I want to make sure that you have a pencil and paper where you can be writing out each one of these problems. Remember, to solve, you should be drawing pictures. You should be using formulas and strategies that we've learned in class. So after I read each question, I'm going to cue you to pause the video and do the math in your notebook. Let's begin. Question number 1. Mai biked 6 3/4 miles today, and Noah biked 4.5 miles. How many times the length of Noah's bike ride was Mai's bike ride? Your answer choices are 2/3 times as far, 3/2 times as far, 9/4 times as far, or 243/8 times as far. Pause and do the work in your notebook. Question number 2. Which expressions represent the same value as 15 divided by 2/9? So the first thing you're going to want to do is find the answer for 15 divided by 2/9. Then compute each of the answer choices, and you're going to select the ones that are the same. Go ahead and pause and do the work. Question number 3. Divide. Represent fractions using a slash symbol on your keyboard and separate any mixed numbers with one space. So for example, if your answer was 1.5, you would put the number 1, space bar, 1/2. Okay, you may leave your answer as an improper fraction if you would like to. Okay, so go ahead and write these problems out in your notebook right now. Number 1 is 3/4 divided by 1/5. Number 2, 9/2 divided by 3/4. Number 3, 5/9 divided by 2/3. And number 4, 5 2/3 divided by 3/2. Once you have those copied down in your notebook, go ahead and use your strategies to solve for dividing fractions. Pause and do the work. Question number 4. Andre draws this tape diagram for 3 divided by 2/3. So here we have 3 pieces on top. It represents the 3 pieces. And we're dividing up those 3 pieces by 2/3. So here's 2 out of the 3, here's 2 out of the 3, here's 2 out of the 3, 2 out of the 3, and then 1/3. Okay, so this is his representation. We have to figure out if Andre is correct or not. Andre says that 3 divided by 2/3 equals 4 1/3, because there are 4 groups of 2/3 and 1/3 left. Do you agree with Andre? Explain your reasoning. So guys, I would go ahead and do the math out and see if this is correct, okay? So go ahead and divide 3 by 2/3 and see if you get the same answer as Andre. You're going to respond with your answer in the text box below by saying, yes, I agree with Andre because, or no, I disagree with Andre because the correct answer is blah, blah, blah. Okay, go ahead and take a moment to pause and solve question number 4. Question number 5. How many 1/3 inch cubes does it take to fill a box with a width of 2 2/3 inches, a length of 1 1/3 inches, and a height of 1 1/3 inches. Hint, how many blocks will fit into each side? Okay, so another hint for this question, you're going to want to draw in your notebooks. Go ahead and draw a cube. When we get 3 measurements for each side, that's a hint that we're dealing with volume, okay? So go ahead and draw a cube in your notebook best you can. And you're going to label each side of that cube, the width being 2 2/3, the length being 1 1/3, and the height being 2 1/3. Now, the question wants to know how many 1/3 inch cubes does it take to fill in that entire box? If we're going to fill up the entire thing with 1/3 inch cubes, how many would we need? Go ahead and pause and do the work in your notebook. Question number 6. Lynn has 2 small baking pans, each shaped like a rectangular prism. Okay, so we're going to draw a picture. We need 2 small baking pans shaped like a rectangle. For question number 1, Lynn lines the bottom of her first pan with aluminum foil. The area of the rectangular piece of foil is 11 1/4 square inches. Its length is 4 1/2 inches. What is the width of the foil? All right, so in your notebook, you should have your rectangle drawn. Again, it gives us the area of the foil. So the space inside is 11 1/4. And then it gives us the length of 4 1/2 inches. The question is asking, what is the width of that foil? Take a moment to pause the video and solve the first part of this problem. Part 2 of question 6. Lynn's second pan has a length of 8/3 inches, a width of 15/4 inches, and a height of 3/2 inches. What is the volume of the second pan? So think back to your formula for volume. We have 3 measurements. What are we going to do with those 3 measurements? Pause and solve the second part of question number 6. Question number 7. Jada made 6 cups of blueberry jam and divided the jam equally among 4 containers. How much jam went into each container? 2/3 of a cup, 1 cup, 3/2 a cup, or 24 cups? Go ahead and pause and do the work for question number 7. Question number 8. Select all the expressions that are greater than 1. So if it is greater or bigger than 1, we're going to check the box. So my advice would be to write each one of these problems down in your notebook, solve them, and if the answer is bigger than 1, you're going to give it a check. Okay, so the first one is 5 divided by 9/10. Write it down. 3/5 divided by 6. 4/5 divided by 3/7. 2 3/5 divided by 1 3/5. And 12/5 divided by 13/5. Again, write each one of those out and solve them to determine if they are greater than 1. Question number 9. A recipe for cookies calls for 2/3 cup of sugar per batch. Elena used 5 1/3 cups of sugar to make multiple batches of cookies. How many batches did she make? All right, you can do question number 9 in your notebooks. And when you're finished, look over your answers and submit your test. Thank you very much.